On Saturday, August 10th, a celebration was held to welcome a new workwear store to the Batesville community. Although Cosawave Workwear offers much more than just workwear. My name is Kenzie Ogden, and today I'm joined by its founder, Lisa Hudson. There's no one better to hear the story behind the project than from the founder herself. Lisa, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm just so fascinated by the story of how this project came about, going from nights, and you're raising it, just kind of planning and organizing things. So, Lisa, if you would start by taking us back to before this location even opened up, how did this dream come about for you?
Okay, so it was in January 2022 when I had actually fought breast cancer for a couple of years in pretty aggressive form. Was very fortunate that was undergone chemo and was able to be cancer free. They were able to get all of it with surgery, and so very grateful in that I was still alive, and I felt like that there was more that I needed to do. And that is when I really looked into starting a business. So I'd been sewing and garment decorating while raising my 5 kids for years and years and years. And then I really looked into how I become a women-owned business. How do I get, kind of go after the larger contracts? Spent months and months digging into that, and then learned as much as I could. Met Cargill at a procurement fair. And all the other big companies on the panel said, no, there's not a place for you. And Cargill said, let's see if we can find a place. And the next day, that was Natalie McGrady from Cargill. And the next day, I was speaking with Lisa Svengard and her coworker, Adam, at the time, and realized that they still needed maternity fire-resistant uniforms for women who had to go into plants while they were pregnant, and they were supervisors and engineers, and they were not able to without putting on very large fire-resistant coveralls. So that was a big problem. So I was able to solve that, realize while on that first visit, women were still wearing men's clothing. And then from that point, that's where our mission was born.
That's great. And it really is a safety concern, and probably a lot of things people didn't even consider beforehand. I know that one of your motives in the company is bridging the gap for women while providing safety for all. What does that kind of mean to you?
That it means a lot. It means one. I want to go back a little bit and say Cargill kind of made that first move, and then Ardent Mills, who's owned by Cargill in Conagra. I've been working with Adonica Rodriguez there, and we were able to win their entire women's contract across the U.S. We were able to give women in every single one of their plants clothing that actually fits and is made for them. But you're right. We talk about comfort. We talk about, well, are they just, as if it's just vanity because they want to look a certain way. It's not, because women's bodies are made different than men's. Mm-hmm. They're not the same. And it's not just comfort, it's a safety issue. There's things that get caught. So we're actually very proud to be part of a new alliance called Awesome, which will be fighting for like standardizations for women's uniforms and PPE to say, okay, you have to take into consideration women's bodies when you're saying that you're making something for women. So it's a huge part. But at the same time, we are inclusive. It doesn't matter who you love. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what size you are. Like, you matter. Like, you're a human being. Like, we're all just human beings, and we want to take care of everyone. So we've come to realize that men love being taken care of the same way that we're taking care of the women. So we are working in plants and taking care of entire plants as well.
That's great. And I mean, you really touched on it. The men and women aren't built the same. There's no body that's built the exact same. So it's hard to fit everybody into one mold, because that's not how we were created.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, so that's great that you're offering more of a variety. And again, focusing on the safety for everyone is really important.
Yes, absolutely.
So I know we talked about this a little bit the other day, but do you want to touch on the brand name itself? What does it mean, and where did it come from?
Yes. So we originally, our legal name is High Vis Custom Outfitter. We were originally the High Vis. As we started to grow, and especially as this project came about because of our exports. What we're selling outside of the United States made us eligible for a program called Make More in America. And through that program, we had access to capital that we normally would not have access to. And we thought, we can't just go build a building in that business park. We got to do something in a community where not only where we're going to be manufacturing, but we can make an impact. So as we started to grow and realize, okay, where we were going, we needed to be able to have a brand name. And we've already started manufacturing the first women's shirts and the first women's lab coats right here. So that's exciting. So we needed something that could be trademarked because I'd never dreamed that we were going to have a brand, but that's where it was going, and now it's where it's at. So we spent a lot of time as a team, like really digging out and figuring out who we are, what do we represent, what are our values, what is our mission, and it came down to we're comfort and safety above anything. So we had to make up a name. So Cosawave is comfort and safety woven together.
That's just incredible. Every time like you explain it, I think that's so clever. I love that so much.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. There were some sleepless nights for me because we were getting ready to go on a big trade mission, and we were going into another country for the first time. And I'm like, we have to have our name. Mm-hmm. Like, we can't go in and then like switch our name. It was hard enough to like rebrand in the U.S., and I didn't want to have to do it in other countries as well. But my team came through.
That's awesome. So you wound up in Batesville. The project is kind of taking off here, planting its roots a little bit here, but the goal is not limited to the building that we're recording in right now. So can you touch on the other ways that you're collaborating with local initiatives and businesses in the Batesville community?
Yes, absolutely. So not only with this building, this building will be first so that we can ramp up our production. Like, we know that Coastal Workwear is what's driving the project, so we have to make sure that we're, getting to our projections and really getting the product out there. So we'll be offering a lot more jobs, especially in the sewing and cutting and sewing area. We have some from a business that moved their sewing department to Mexico. So we were able to save a couple of those jobs, and we have others that will be joining us as well from there. But once we get to that point, we're looking at over 100 sewers by 2028. So we have to start thinking about, okay, where does that labor force come from? So we're really working on setting up Department of Labor apprenticeships. So even for the high school, they can come over and learn how to sew, and some of them will be paid apprentices so that they can kind of learn while on the job and get paid. But it doesn't stop just with us in our manufacturing. Across the entire 2 blocks, we are doing redevelopment phase by phase, putting all storefronts on the bottom level, bringing in a brewery for the Sherman, getting the restaurant up and going while providing Department of Labor apprenticeships to students and adults in culinary and hospitality management. And then opening a spa over there in the Sherman so that we'll provide cosmetology as well as certified massage therapy, and then early childhood education for what will be our child care. So we're really reaching out and saying, okay, we want people to have options if college isn't their path, or if they want to be retrained, that we're offering Department of Labor apprenticeships within these entire 2 blocks.
That's great. And that's such a wide range of different areas that you're covering and that you're hoping for younger people to come in and try out, which I think is so important. And you just hit the nail on the head. As a college student myself, I feel like college is where I need to be, but I know that that's not for everybody. And it feels like the last couple generations there's been such a push for school. But there's other options. There's trades out there. Everybody has a different skill set, different interests. So yes. I think that's great that you're kind of reaching out to the younger generation to say, hey guys, it's okay if college scares you, if that doesn't feel right. Here's some other things to try, but while you're figuring it out.
Yes. And like, everyone is equally important, right? Like, I think sometimes the non-college bound kids in school think, oh, we're not important, or, we're not as valuable, but that's not the case. It's just, we just need to find out what they're really great at.
Yeah.
Right? Let's find out what they're really great at. And I also believe, like, what this development does for Batesville is bring in, it makes a place where the next generation would like to live, right? When we're adding within these very, very walkable 2 blocks, 155 apartment units, and we're bringing in all of the things that, like, okay, when we're listening to the community, what do we need? And I went to the community event last night to hear and like one of the biggest ones was storefronts. So we're making sure that that's why we're moving up. We're moving up to do manufacturing because we can't take this valuable storefront space from the community.
Yeah, yes. That's great. Just kind of as we wrap things up here, where can the community find you? What is next for you guys?
Okay, thank you. So you can find us at cosawaveworkwear.com. You can come in Monday through Friday. If our door is locked in the front, you can just ring the doorbell right there on the corner. You can email or can go onto our website and put contact us and reach out if you want to come in and take a look at some of our items or want to set up a special, meeting to looking for a certain thing. You can email and come in during special hours. And I think that as far as like community support too, the biggest thing for us right now is that we started with nothing and that we're ramping up and we've grown so quick and we have this little bit of couple month push that we're ramping up and closing a lot of big contracts. So the biggest thing I could ask is if you need a boot trailer somewhere, call us out. We can bring our boot trailer out. If you need to buy workwear, t-shirts, hoodies, anything at all, that we're here to serve. And that's really the best support. Like, even though a lot of our products were going to be exported outside of the U.S., like, we know that we're here to serve our community as well.
You heard it here. I'm so glad that I was able to hear from you because I'm like, this is such a special initiative, a special story, and it's not the same coming from me. I was like, I wanted people to hear it from Lisa herself.
Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate your energy and your excitement and the great job that you do.
Thank you. So once again, that is Cosawave Workwear, located at 3 West Pearl Street here in Batesville, Indiana. Anything else you want to add?
No, just thank you. I'll just say thank you to everyone, especially the community. We chose Batesville over anywhere because of the people and the welcome we felt the moment we got here. So just thank you to everyone.
Well, I'm so excited to see where you guys go, and I know that there's lots of great things ahead for you guys.
Thank you.
Reporting from Batesville, I'm Kenzie Ogden, 812now.com.